All right, at this point, we're ready to show the operation of an SR latch that serves as a memory element. Okay, and what you should know is that an SR latch is basically cross-coupled NOR gate. So I put a couple of NOR gates here. The way I remember it is the reset goes on the top, R goes into this NOR gate with Q at the top of the circuit, and then S goes into this NOR gate with Q bar, which I labeled here QN because technically you don't know that Q and QN are going to be opposite of one another. It turns out that they are under proper operation of the circuit. So you can think of this as Q bar. All right, so S goes with Q bar, R goes with Q. All right, so what I want to do next is show you the operation of this circuit. All right, so right now I have, if you look, Q is equal to 0. And so if I wanted to remember a 1, I would need to set this. Okay, so I press this button here, set, and you see the set takes a sequence of operations. The set, okay, set going to 1, 1 ORed with 0 is 1. Hit the bubble, that would be a 0. This 0 feeds back. Okay, 0 ORed with 0 is 0, hits the bubble. This flipped over to a 1, and this 1 feeds back here. And I end up with a stable condition because 1 ORed with 1 is 1, hit the bubble, that would become a 0, which is consistent with the output. All right, so remember in the previous video I talked about you have to make sure that things end up in a stable state. And so when I made this change from 0 to 1, it was in fact stable. Okay, so for this to serve as a memory, I would need to be able to remove the set signal and still have Q equal to 1. So I'm going to press the green button. That removes the set signal. Things happen with the circuit, and you notice Q did not change. Okay, so what happens with the circuit is the 1 was still there. 1 ORed with 0 is 1, hit the bubble, that's a 0. 0 feeds back, 0, 0, ORed together is 0, hits the bubble. This stays a 1 and it holds it here at this next input to this NOR gate. All right, so you see it acted like a memory element, it stored the 1. All right, so the next thing we can do, and I'm not going to go into great detail on this, I'll let you do this, is the next thing we need to do is show that we can reset the circuit in a similar way. So if I hit reset R, things happen with the circuit, the feedback mechanism happens, it goes through, and the feedback holds this where Q is now a 0 and Q bar is a 1. All right, so it's been reset to a 0. And if it, for it to work correctly, I would need to be able to remove that reset signal and still have the circuit remember that Q should be a 0. And in fact, that works. Okay, so I really feel like this is an important concept and you can play around with this diagram, but actually I feel like the best way to learn this is to draw some pictures at a whiteboard. So we'll talk about that as we go through it in class.